I previously had an opinion about quartz watches. The fact that having a nice quartz watch in your collection is a very good idea because it's a grab and go watch. If you're in a rush, you can go to your watch collection, grab it, stick it on wrist, the time's already set, the date and the calendar's already set, you don't need to worry about it, and you can run out the door. I've thought this, I've believed in this, I've even said this. And I think it is a good idea. I think it's a good idea for a lot of people. However, when I actually think about it properly, for me, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's actually not my opinion for me. It just sounds like a good thing. And that has made me think, if that's actually not my opinion, and perhaps I haven't thought about it enough, what other opinions do I have that perhaps I don't agree with? Hello, you're watching James. My name's James, you're watching me, and I'm talking about watches. And I think this piece of advice relates well to a lot of people, and it works, and it is the right opinion for you. If you want to grab a watch and you're in a rush and you like quartz watches, it's worth having a good one in your collection. It makes a lot of sense. I don't disagree with the advice. I disagree that it's been something that I've said and I've been relating to myself because it actually isn't something that relates to me. I know this because I've tested it. I've owned some nice quartz watches that I actually like, but I don't end up wearing them that much. I tend to be drawn towards mechanical watches. And I've even been in the specific circumstances when I have been in a rush. I've gone to my watch box. I've even then thought, while standing there looking at my watches, this is it. This is the time why I grab this quartz watch, this grab and go watch. And not once in those circumstances have I grabbed the quartz watch. I've ended up grabbing a mechanical watch. I've ended up going for a time-only mechanical watch to speed up the process a little bit, but I haven't grabbed the quartz watch. This idea, for me, of having a grab-and-go watch doesn't work. So why have I been saying this if it's not actually my opinion? Why have I been thinking this? And I realise why. It's because I've heard it from people before. I've heard it from people that I trust. It's gone into my head. It makes a lot of sense. I think, yes, that really is a good idea. And then I've said it as well. And I haven't thought about it enough. I haven't related it to me specifically. It's started to make me think a little bit further about these sorts of thoughts. I know I overthink things sometimes, especially when it comes to watches, but this is actually quite important. Getting to know what my actual opinions are will end up me getting better watches in my collection, because if I bought a quartz watch as a grab and go watch, I wouldn't end up wearing it. And then I've just wasted some money. Money that could have gone to a watch that I would have worn more. I also think perhaps, have I got some opinions from the past that are now no longer relevant? Have I had something in my head that I've been thinking about and that I've been sort of pushing or I've been sort of saying or living by, but it now doesn't work because I've moved on with my watch collecting, my watch experiences, what I think about watches. And when I've been thinking about this, thinking about what other opinions I have or past opinions that I've had, something has come into my mind. Comments in my videos, certain comments in other people's videos, and certain comments that have been put out there online from people about certain subjects. Subjects like, don't buy a homage watch, you're better off saving for the original. Don't buy something from China, they're all garbage. Certainly don't buy a homage watch because they're actually fake watches. These sort of strong opinions. And I've started to think, are these comments actually those people's opinions? Or, like me and the grab and go watches, have they heard this said from somebody, taken it in and thought, oh, that sounds right, and now that's their opinion? Or have they owned some of these watches in the past and felt that they're terrible watches, and then they've made that opinion and they haven't experienced any more real current watches and then reformed an opinion? I get the feeling that people, when they say things like, don't buy watches from Aliexpress, they're terrible, I had a really bad experience on there. Well, it's really disappointing to hear that they've had a bad experience, but Aliexpress is this massive website with all these different sellers, with all these different products. One bad experience means that they might have bought the wrong product. They might have bought it from the wrong store, or they might have just unfortunately had a bad experience And now they've got this very strong opinion of don't buy from Aliexpress, and they're missing out on all these great watches from Aliexpress. So perhaps it would be good if some of these people that have these strong opinions, and I have nothing against the opinions, I like that people have different opinions, but perhaps if they stood back from their opinion and thought about it a little bit more, just like I have with this idea of quartz grab-and-go watches, perhaps they would change their minds, or perhaps they would shift their perspective a little bit and have a little bit of better understanding. And perhaps they might actually end up liking a homage watch or end up buying a watch from Aliexpress that they absolutely love. It would be nice for them to do that. It'd be nice for me to do this too. Step back from my thoughts, step back from my opinions, question those, and find out what I really like and what I actually think. And I'm saying this, I'm making this video all for one particular reason. And that is because something that I think is really important when it comes to watch collecting is making the best buying decisions that you can. Ending up with the best watches for the best amount of money in your collection, watches that you love and you actually wear, versus buying something for the wrong reason, versus not buying something that possibly would be the right watch. I truly believe that if we have some better understandings of our own thoughts, ideas, and experiences, we can end up with better watches in our collection. I think this can apply to other things in our life as well, but I'm talking about watches today, and I know there are certain watches in my collection that never would have joined my collection if I hadn't done this, if I hadn't been a little bit more aware of my own thoughts. And I want to have the best watches that I can. I've only got a certain amount of money that I can put into my watch collection, so I want that money to go to watches that I love, that I wear, that I experience, and that give me a whole heap of joy. I hope this video has been somewhat interesting and perhaps makes you question some of your own opinions. Is there something that you've thought about, something that you say that possibly doesn't make any sense anymore? Is it an old opinion? Is it possibly something that you've heard and now you're just repeating? And that's actually a very normal thing to do, by the way. We take in information from all over the place, including from other people, and that becomes our thoughts. But when we apply those thoughts to our experiences, does it translate? Does it relate? Or do you end up buying a quartz watch to be a grab-and-go watch and then not actually grabbing and going with it? I think I've learned something today from having this conversation and thinking about it. I hope you have too. Maybe check out some of my other ramblings.